Hello, amazing people. My name is Kurly. I'm a performance poet, hip hop artist. Hope you're all having a great day. So I'm based in Birmingham. Do work on behalf of Stand Up to Racism and Love Music Hate Racism. So it's a pleasure to be here on Soho Radio and to offer a few interesting people who are doing great things. My first guest will be Alison Cope. She is an anti-knife campaigner, anti-youth violence campaigner. She goes all around the country instilling positivity in young people and helping them understand the real consequences of violence, both as a perpetrator and obviously as the victim, and the impact violence can have on our communities and as individuals and our families. But she also talks about her son and his story as well. Her son, for those who don't know, is Joshua Ribera, aka Depzman, and yeah, his music was incredible. Made a huge impact on the grime scene, and this year marks the 5th year since his passing. And she talks a bit about his music, goes into some detail about her favourite tracks that her son produced during the time he was alive. And yeah, that's a very, very moving part of the show, and I urge you to check that out. That's what's going to be coming up first. Then we've got Matt Windle. He's the current Birmingham Poet Laureate, and he's also a professional boxer as well. So mixing it up with words and artistry in the ring at a high level, championship boxer, professional, and he does poetry workshops in schools throughout the UK. And we talk a little bit about his work and some of his poems. And also we have Zara Sykes, an up-and-coming amazing artist in Birmingham. She's a youth worker as well. She works with young people. She talks about her experiences in the music industry coming through, and also shares some of her tracks as well. So yeah, so that's the show. There's also going to be a little bit from me as well. As I mentioned, I'm a poet and hip-hop artist. And this first piece I'm going to share with you is from me, and it's to open the show. This is a Love Music Hate Racism campaign, so it's only right that I share something with some loving. And what better way to do that than to mix a bit of hip hop and some real old school poetry. This is Sonnet 18, written by the one and only Shakespeare himself 400 years ago. And I got this idea from Akala. Big up Akala. And yeah, his TEDx talk around hip hop and Shakespeare. And yeah, very inspirational. I certainly urge you to go and YouTube it. Hello, this is performance poet and rapper Kurly Meets, and I'm going to do a performance of a poem that's over 400 years old. It's Sonnet 18, written by the one and only William Shakespeare. So I'm going to perform the poem, the original one, as a rap, give it a chorus. Then I'm going to deliver a translation of the poem as a bit more of a contemporary piece. Hope you enjoy. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Every fair and fair sometimes declines by chance, so nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of the fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag, thou wanderest in the shade. Within eternal lines the time thou growest. So long as man can breathe, our eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as man can breathe, our eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Yeah, love is timeless and relevant, yo. This is Shakespeare's poem, Sonnet 18, remixed by Kurly for 2017. Yes, words might change, but feelings don't. Now let me translate what Shakespeare wrote. Should I compare you to a summer's day when your beauty is more stable, baby? As we all know, the weather likes to change, and summertime does not last anyway. And if the sun shines, sometimes it's too hot, or it hides behind clouds, so it stays dim. So its gold complexion gets hard to spot, and its beauty sets. I know that sounds grim, but your lovely radiance shall not fade, or not lose the beauty that you possess. Death and decay will not take it away. You'll be safe in his words that I express. So long as men can breathe, our eyes can see. So long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe, our eyes can see. Baby, you will live for eternity. This Sonny 18, 2017. Yeah, love is timeless and relevant. Yo, this is Shakespeare's poem, Sonny 18. Remixed by Kurly for 2017. Yeah, words might change, but feelings don't. Love is timeless and relevant. Yo, it's Sonny 18 for 2017. Oh, love is timeless and relevant. Yo, this is Shakespeare's poem, Sonny 18. Remixed by Kurly for 2017. Yo, words might change, but feelings don't. Love is timeless and relevant. Yo. Yep, starting us off on the theme of love, Shakespeare's Sonny 18, inspired by Carla's TED Talk, as I said, just check that out. And of course, yes and no, 2017 has been and gone, but hey, like the song says, love is timeless and relevant, yo, and you know you like it. Okay, now it gives me great pleasure to welcome the next person, the next guest on the show. I've got her live on the phone. Her name is Alison Cope. She does incredible work within the community, all around the country, speaking to all of our young people about the importance of making positive choices. Hello, Alison.
Hello.
Hey. So, Alison, would you be able to give listeners a quick little introduction to the sort of work that you do?
Yeah, my name's Alison Cope. In 2013, I lost my son Joshua to knife crime. Josh was well known in the music industry as Depzman, and he was killed on the 21st of September 2013. Since then, I've done a lot of work with young people, working schools, colleges, pupil referral units, prisons, speaking about positive choices, but also talking about Josh's life, the choices he made growing up and how he found success through those choices.
So you mentioned about the music there, regarding your son Josh and his journey into music. Can you give a bit more insight into what led him into the music then, and how school life was for him?
Yeah, when Josh was 8 years old, he was statemented, which is a legal document that requires additional special educational support within school. Mm-hmm. And Josh was moved from mainstream school and excluded. Now, Joshua was doing music when he was about 9 years of age, but it was just fun with his friends. It was a fashion thing at that time that they were all doing. Mm. Between the age of 10 and 15, Joshua struggled with education, and there was other things going on in his life. Started to get involved with the youth justice system, and he found things incredibly difficult. Now, when Josh was 15, he was wrongly convicted and sent to a young offenders for 2 years, but because we both knew he hadn't done the crime, I managed to get it to the Court of Appeal. It was overturned, and Joshua came home, and that made him really think about what he wanted to do with his life. The main thing was not to hurt me. The second thing was he wanted to do something that he could really focus on and express himself. So he started writing, and he's got lots of pieces of paper that I still have with all these words on it that ended up becoming lyrics. And those lyrics were then put into an album, and he started releasing music on a regular basis. Over a very short period of time, he was getting known all over the UK, and a lot of big artists were watching him as the next person that was going to become well known and possibly sign to a label. But wow. Josh was killed before he had the chance to do that.
Gosh, and I think we've spoken before about how to the degree of his success as well in that short period of time. So he came out at what age? And
he came out when he was 15, and he had his 16th birthday just a few months later. So between the age of, say, 16 and 17 and a half, he'd released many, many videos on YouTube with over 80 million views. He had a #1 album. He'd flown out to Spain, performed with Skepta,
wow.
was working with Jaykae, just doing loads and loads of work. He put his heart and soul into music, and I think his charisma, talent and focus really shone through, and so people were watching him and realising how talented he was. Now, from a personal point of view, his ability to express himself was his saviour, because he started to release some of the pain that he was feeling inside through his music, which I think music is so important for people because it enables them to express themselves. And a lot of artists, the most successful artists, will put the truth down on paper, and people relate to that. And I think a lot of people related to Josh, and what he was saying was so truthful and from his heart that people just saw it and thought, wow, who is this young person being able to express himself so well? Face to face, Josh couldn't say how he felt. So I actually used to go on YouTube when a video was released and watch it and learn an awful lot about his state of mind through his videos. He could speak from the heart openly through music, but face to face he found that difficult. You know, so I'd start to see his progression through his music.
And this first track, Mountain Dew, is there anything you'd like to say about that before listeners have a listen?
Oh yeah, I mean, that was the first video that I watched and started to think he's going to be okay. I just remember hearing some of the lyrics he was talking about me, his dad, his friends, his focus, the pain in his heart, but how he was using that pain to drive his passion and his goals. So that was a very, very important video. It was very important for me personally, because I started to see the turn in his emotions and the turn in his ability to express himself. So that might just seem like a video in a tunnel and he's talking about these things, but that was really what was going on for him, and I was so proud to hear those words come out of his mouth. So yeah, it was a very, very important video for me, Mountain Dew.
Wow. So this is Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Zona. Depzman. Yeah. Felix, you madman. P110. Normal. Some realness. Let's go. It's like I'm on a cold, lonely road on my own, got no one with me. Man, I just got peas, weed, clothes on my phone. Don't know where I'm going, but tonight don't think I'ma go my home. So much going on in my head right now, can't chill and stay in my zone. It's over the cold. You don't know how many times my soldiers are rolled out. On tracks I go for the goal, so Depzman's running his farting, no doubt. You best keep your jokes on the low, rounded it just ain't nothing to joke about. Most time I roll in my own car, most man don't show up and it goes down. And as fucked as it sounds, that's just how things are in my hometown. 0121 enough man I fake, that's cool, they're the ones that don't roll round. Man know me car flow wow, and if you don't like me, oh wow, cause I ain't going nowhere fast. Fam, if you didn't know that, then you know now. But the way that I spray my bars, you can tell there's pain in my heart. Been going in hard straight from the start, but they didn't wanna rate, man, it's apart. But now they praise me and I just laugh. Fam, it's funny how they're up my arse. Yeah, it's mad how things change. Trust me, it's insane. I remember chilling in rain. Now I got an SBTV in Spain. They say that I'm winning, but then I think about shams and it brings pain. My dog was too young to go. Real talk, it's too much to take in, but my dogs just soon come to blow. And for you fam, just know I ain't waiting. Now it's time to get that cake in. Fuck leaves, it's cash to be raking. Gonna make it, history in the making. Ain't got time to wait on some plating, that's just long. My family are working, me chilling, that's just wrong. I used to wanna stay strapped up long, now I want my stacks up long. Started back in the day just writing lyrics for fun. Now I'm one of the best in my city, and now I'm writing lyrics for Brum. I ain't got time to sit on my bum. Fam, I gotta do this for my mum and my dogs. Can't want my real G's out of that slum. But hey yo fam, remember way back when them man there didn't wanna know fam. But now I'm doing my thing, suddenly all of them man wanna know man. I gotta do this thing for my old man. Yeah, I'm trying to make my dad proud, and I won't stop till I got big shows, and I'm spitting in front of a mad crowd. Now other MCs better back down. Depz, I'm creating that mad sound, that mad sound. I'm like Marks, from a mash town. Now I pick up the mic, put the mash down. Used to eat up man like hash brown, but I ain't trying to go back to the bin, man, I gone way too far for that now. So now I just do my thing, like I had wings, I flew right in. Growing up bar and I grew right in. Don't believe me, ask my fam. Late nights cranked to my crew right in, with my brothers and a few nice things. Now you can't bring your queen round me, she will get jacked up and move like kings. Come to music, I do my thing. Done it from day and I ain't never gonna stop it. Them man, they need to stop shouting. Done it from day and they ain't never got a profit. I'm danked up off the chest popping. Where's the fag? Let me build another rocket. Man, I saying that I'm due to blow up like putting water in a plug socket. So I think fuck it, might as well do me. Now they don't say Depzman Uzi. They say Depzman's a true G, and your wife says Depzman's a cutie. Now you're pissed off and you wanna slew me, but there ain't a single thing you can do me. Pissed off and you wanna slew me, but there ain't a single thing you can do me.
So that was Mountain Dew, and wow, yes, there's a lot of different things coming out there, this young man's journey, and as you say, as a parent, learning a lot more about your son through his creativity. Wow, it must have been very revealing.
It was, because, you know, people might be listening thinking, what, so you didn't know what was going on for your son? Yeah, I knew exactly what was going on for my son, but what I was concerned about was he wasn't expressing it, so that's why, for me to see him being able to express that pain was what made it so, you know, so amazing for me to see that video.
Wow, yeah. Just how successful did Josh become?
Very successful. Since his death, I think I'm more aware of his success by the outpouring of grief. Outpouring of grief for Josh, but also for Depzman. You know, Radio 1, lots of well-known names have put tributes for him because he was, in their eyes, such a talent and so full of life. People all over the world have messaged me, you know, the millions of views on YouTube, and people have been just so lovely about him. And obviously, as a parent, that, you know, that really warms my heart to know that he was so well loved. It doesn't make the situation any easier for me, but, you know, it does fill me with a lot of pride and happiness that he'd achieved, you know, the ability to express himself, but then so many people appreciated that. So he did have a #1 album. In America was Drake. Josh was #1 here, and that album still sells today, 5 years later. So,
and that was #1 in the iTunes chart, was that?
Yeah, that's right, #1 out of iTunes.
Wow, gosh.
Yeah.
And was that his first album?
Yeah.
Too Real.
First and only album, Too Real.
Wow.
You know, he's done lots and lots of videos. And again, for me, you know, when Josh was little, he was diagnosed with ADHD and various other conditions. And when Josh was little, they did a lot of assessments, you know, and he struggled in so many areas. And I think it was actually his ADHD and these other conditions that made him so successful, because when everyone else was fast asleep or tired, Josh was full of energy, which is why his work rate was so high. He released video after video after video and was able to just, his brain was working all the time. And I do think that was his ADHD, but because we found a way of channeling it, then, you know, that's what I think helped him so much.
Wow. So did you begin to see a change in his demeanour at home then? Was he getting in trouble as much? Or?
No. When he came out the Young Offenders and when he focused on music, everything changed, his whole life changed, because, you know, for me, which is part of the work I do, you see a lot of young people that have made mistakes in their life and they can't turn that around because they're in prison or it's such a huge mistake they've made. For Josh, he was given a second chance and he didn't, you know, throw that chance away. He took it and he just calmed. It's like this massive cloud of stress and pain and anger just started to go. It took a few months. It wasn't instant from the day he came out, but over about a 6-month period, he just realised that the most important thing in his life was the people that he loved, and that he didn't want to hurt people. He didn't want to carry on swearing and shouting and, you know, taking out his anger in a negative way. He wanted to release that pain, and for him to find a way of doing that, I'm just so lucky that he found, you know, a way of doing that before, you know, it went too far and that anger turned into a negative choice. But luckily, because he had a lot of love and support around him, which I think is absolutely key, and you know, we focused on what he could do, not all the things that he wasn't good at or couldn't do. We focused on the one thing he could do, which was music, and enabled him to be that person. And
I have to say, like, I've checked out his work, and it's been in a retroactive kind of manner. Like, I didn't know him at the time, or wasn't aware of his work at the time, because obviously it was a different generation and such. And but certainly looking at his work now, there's so much. There is just so much, and that's such a high level as well. You know, very articulate and very, like you said, honest, very truthful. Certainly, wow, just an incredible creative young person. And this next track, our Alison, Celebrate. Is there anything you'd like to say about that before we let listeners have a listen?
Yeah, I mean, Celebrate was classed as a grime tune, Celebrate, and I love this tune because, you know, people prejudge grime. They look at certain music and think, oh, dark, moody, aggressive, but to see that video just made me chuckle, if I'm honest, because it was him, many of his friends, bright sunlight, the music, barbecuing, play fighting, water pistols, you know, smiles, happiness, and a really positive message. And it basically is to say, enjoy your life, but really enjoy your life. Don't just celebrate occasionally, just celebrate it, enjoy it, have fun, get out there, see the sunshine, smile, feel the happiness. And to see him with that massive smile on his face and the sun shining on him, and all his friends just happy and enjoying themselves in such a positive way, I love the track. I just love him so much for putting that, you know, in a video and showing everyone that this is grime, this is my grime, this is me, and I'm not bothered what anyone else has got to say. This is what I am doing, and I'm proud of who I am, and I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing. I'm going to be me. And he stood there and celebrated, hence the name of the track.
Awesome. So this is Celebrate.
Name's out there, fam, my only plan is to stack them grands. Large up the man that was still on the block with me when I brought never had 10 fans. Now man, I got so many haters, couldn't count them even if I had 10 hands. Bear man wanna try and ruin my plans. Man can't act like the bag get banged. Man can't ruin my plans, he's a mad rude boy. Don't you know about my gang? When I roll out it's the SMG's invasion. Don't you know about the slang? Bear MCs that send cat chair. Like I say, man, put clothes out to hang. Man can't violate shams, you're mad. All my dons are rolled out to bang, and all your dons know I ain't moist, so I don't need to say it ain't true. Fam, if I ain't the best, then fuck knows. Can't no fool while it ain't you. Ain't got what you need, man, better make do. Can't otherwise you will never break through. When I get to the top, I'ma celebrate. Whoever's with me, go celebrate too. Gonna celebrate too, celebrate too. Fuck one day, let's celebrate too. Me and my niggas have a celebration, but your wifey wants to come celebrate too. Tell her come true, tell her come true. Down to the end, you know how we do. I can feel the pain coming, it's true. But right now, like Drake, the love in the crew. Yeah, the love in the crew. Man, I out here getting wavy, like say there's nothing to lose. Rest of the time, man, I up in the shoes. Match shift, yeah, man, I put in a few. Putting in work, this will reach my goal. When I say that I was wrong when I blew. Celebrating for the goals I've reached, but man, I still got hundreds to do. Trying to stay away from bad mind people. I don't wanna switch and punch up a few. I just wanna get home, do shows when I roll out, go to the front of the queue. Man, can't be looking all bust out here. Gotta stay fresh at the front of my shoe. Talking about bombs, don't know my swag stays like it's home with the flu. And man, no, I ain't broke out here, so I don't need to say it ain't true. Fam, if I ain't the best, then fuck knows. Can't no fool when it ain't you. Ain't got what you need, man, better make do. Can't otherwise you will never break through. When I get to the top, I'ma celebrate. Whoever's with me, go celebrate too. Gonna celebrate too, celebrate too. Fuck one day, let's celebrate too. Me and my niggas have a celebration, but your wifey wants to come celebrate too. Tell her come true, tell her come true. Down to the end, you know how we do. I can feel the pain coming, it's true. But right now, like Drake, the love in the crew. Celebrate too, celebrate free. My dance fresh home, let's celebrate G. See now all I'm doing is good. No wonder bro, these brothers hate me. I'm in the studio like work. When I get them in and breeze AC. Fully involved in the music thing. I ain't got time to watch AP. I ain't got time to watch AP. My man's just pissed cause he ain't me. My man's just pissed cause I'm wavy. Passing another bottle to his lady. Might be the Ciroc or the JB. Just know the way, living ain't free. Just know the way, living ain't cheap. Just know the way living crazy. And man, no, you ain't the best out here, so I don't need to say it ain't true. Fam, if I ain't the best, then fuck knows. Can't no fool when it ain't you. Ain't got what you need, man, better make do. Cause otherwise you will never break through. When I get to the top, I'ma celebrate. Whoever's with me, go celebrate too. Gonna celebrate too, celebrate too. Fuck one day, let's celebrate too. Me and my niggas have a celebration. Betty wifey wants to come celebrate too. Tell her come true, tell her come true. Down to the end, you know how we do. I can feel the pain coming, it's true. Cause right now, like Drake, the love in the crew.
And that was Celebrate by Joshua Ribera, aka Depzman. I'm very fortunate to have his mother here on the line with us. If you've just joined us, Alison Cope, she's on the line. Alison, can you tell us a little bit more about the work you've been doing since the passing of your son?
Yeah, after Joshua died, I was introduced to a lot of young people that I'd never met before, and a lot of these young people came from various backgrounds, but a lot of them were viewed as hard to reach, hard to engage with, difficult young people, and I didn't see that. I thought, well, I'm engaging with them and I'm, talking to them, and they seem to be listening to me. And I mean that because when the trial was going on and when somebody was charged with Joshua's murder, there were so many negative emotions around. And through talking to the young people, showing them respect, allowing them to express themselves and guiding them elsewhere, I started to see that people were going in the right direction. So my work developed, and I started to work in schools and all over the country, talking about Josh, talking about knife crime, the importance of choice. And then approximately 2 years ago, I was going to a lot of pupil referral units. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, it's when a young person isn't succeeding in mainstream school, and that can be for various reasons. But the school feel that extra support is needed, so they moved on to a smaller group of young people in a centre, a unit. And I was going to a lot of these units, meeting many young people who were coming up to me, showing me their artwork, the work they'd done in school, and it was amazing. And I said, oh, that's brilliant. Now, they were all around 15, 16, so then I was saying, oh, have you got your prom this year, and you're looking forward to the day trips end of term? And, with quite a sad face, they'd say, oh, actually, we're not allowed to go to our prom now. We've been excluded, we're not wanted. And I thought, that's sad, that's not fair. And then spoke to the staff, and they say, yeah, even if the young person has come to them, turned their life around and are successful, then they're still not allowed to go to the prom. They're not allowed to do work experience. They're not allowed to go to the end of term day trips to the, Drayton Manor, which is local to where I am, the theme parks. And I thought, no, that's not okay. So I started to think about putting on a prom for the young people. But then I thought, anything I do in Josh's name has to be to a high level. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do the Joshua Ribera Achievement Awards. And it's where young people that have been excluded but have started to turn their life around and achieved could actually win an award. And it was an amazing evening. There was 20 young people from all over the West Midlands that won the awards, were nominated by the schools for their achievements. There was personal achievement, which was very much if their behaviour had calmed down, their attendance. There was also academic achievement, which is when they started to achieve qualifications. And for me, I wanted them to feel that they were special, not to be embarrassed. They weren't having a prom, for them to stand with their, head held high to say, this is my night, look who I am, look what I've achieved. And what I wanted to show people, which I want to share, is when you look at these young people's backgrounds, a lot of them had been through some very traumatic experiences, and what they were expressing in mainstream school was a reaction to pain. So instead of addressing that pain, they were moved on, which I totally understand why the school made that decision. But they're still made to feel like an outsider by being excluded from all these different activities. So yeah, had an amazing evening. It was very much a black tie event, red carpet, 10-foot robot greeting them, champagne reception, food, entertainment. It was just absolutely amazing, and the children still talk about it now, how special they felt. You know, priceless. So I'm doing it again next year, just in the process of organising it all, getting it all together, applying for sponsorship.
Wow.
And then I'm going to do it all again next year and have another group of young people celebrated for their achievements and what they have managed to do.
Wow.
And that's it.
And where can people find out more about the work that you do?
They can go onto my website, which is alisoncope.com, and they can go through all the different sections that shows some of the work I've done, the awards evening from this year, my plan for next year, and they can see all the different things that I've been involved in and what I'm trying to achieve.
Awesome. So next and final track from Joshua Ribera, aka Depzman, is One Love. And I understand, love was a big thing for you two, like many. But obviously, we don't often celebrate it very often. And sometimes it's easy to overlook or undermine at times. But this final track, One Love, is there anything you'd like to say about that, Al?
Yeah, I'm, again, very proud of this track, and I'm proud of it for different reasons. For this track, this really showed his maturity and where he was going in his life, and he kind of sums it up so well with his lyrics. He talks about, working hard, focusing on what's important, making the right choices, keeping, the people you love close, showing appreciation to the people you love. And as a mum, as a parent, to me, I'm just overwhelmed the fact that he just got it. He got that the most important thing was loving the people you care about and working hard to achieve legally, so that you're not causing additional pain for the sake of, financial gain. And, when you hear him speak, that was the track that I thought, yeah, his maturity's kicking in, his sense of purpose is here. It's just all going to fly from here, and we've achieved everything we need to achieve together, which is his security. So, yeah, love this track. It's a very special track for me, One Love.
Back then they didn't wanna know, fam. Now it's like say they have to. Back then man couldn't get a show, fam. Now in one day I'll have to. I'ma blow in this thing, yeah, I have to. Make my mum proud and my dad too. Gotta stay on the straight and narrow, cause one day I'm gonna be a dad too. One love to all of my family. Can't forget my granddad too. Been supporting me from the start. Ail him up, yeah, I had to. And the man them already know that. If you got my back, then I'll back you. You get out what you put in, so family to put in the work, I'm glad to. Stop time wasting and started learning. Stop waiting and started working. One love to the man in my circle, we're gonna make it, yeah, that's for certain. One love to the haters pushing me to pick up the mic and keep making. One love to the industry people that try block man, but it ain't working. Stop time wasting and started learning. Stop waiting and started working. One love to the man in my circle, we're gonna make it, yeah, that's for certain. One love to the haters pushing me to pick up the mic and keep making. One love to the industry people that try block man, but it ain't working. We're gonna make it, yeah, that's certain. We're gonna make it, yeah, that's certain. I couldn't get a show, fam. I was on the road, fam. So many people there, but I felt like I was on my own, fam. Yeah, I was on hot shit, got locked quick, I remember. I was in a coke can, smoking weed, getting high, but same time I was on a low. Damn. Now you can go ask about they know, man. Hope it's from music and not just from the times I've had to KO, man. Now come off the road and I'm doing my thing cause I got my own plan. Yeah, I do what I want when I like, don't take orders from no man. Stop time wasting and started learning. Stop waiting and started working. One love to the man in my circle, we're gonna make it, yeah, that's for certain. One love to the haters pushing me to pick up the mic and keep making. One love to the industry people that try block man, but it ain't working. Stop time wasting and started learning. Stop waiting and started working. One love to the man in my circle, we're gonna make it, yeah that's for certain. One love to the haters pushing me to pick up the mic and keep murking. One love to the industry people that try block man but it ain't working. One love to my brothers, I see them, always there when I need them. I was out on the road on my own trying to get that dough. Yeah, shit was peak then, but we beat that. Now the peace stats. Man ball out every weekend, I got the cheese wraps. Man lean back and watch them drowning in the deep end. These other niggas don't wanna see me nice, so I don't know why man pretend. One love to the man that you see me with, but I tell man straight fuck these ends. It used to be SMG, I used to just roll around with 3 friends. But way before my trendsetter dropped, man, them are still following these trends. Stop time wasting and started learning. Stop waiting and started working. One love to the man in my circle, we're gonna make it, yeah that's for certain. One love to the haters pushing me to pick up the mic and keep murking. One love to the industry people that try block man but it ain't working. Stop time wasting and started learning. Stop waiting and started working. One love to the man in my circle, we're gonna make it, yeah that's for certain. One love to the haters pushing me to pick up the mic and keep murking. One love to the industry people that try block man but it ain't working.
That was One Love. And Alison, is there anything in particular that you might want to say to anyone out there? Because at the moment we are hearing a lot in the media at the moment regarding knife crime and youth violence. If anyone is carrying a knife, is there anything you'd like to perhaps share with them at this point?
Yeah, definitely. Joshua was killed with a knife, and every day we see headlines. I had some new statistics come out today, and every 9 minutes somebody is being stabbed in this country. That is horrific. And I just want to say to anyone who is thinking of carrying a knife or does carry a knife on them that are listening to this programme, you need to really understand the consequences. You can kill someone just by slashing someone, and there isn't a single place on the body where you can lash out and guarantee that person will live. So if you think you're just going to slash someone in revenge or in anger or in a robbery, you can become a murderer. And we need to really understand what that means. To become a murderer means you are going to lose everything. Your mum, your dad, your grandparents, little sisters, brothers, family members, friends in time, and you will just be left in a prison cell crying for those people. And there is nothing in the world more important than those people. So if you're making a choice to carry a knife, you genuinely need to think about what that means. Because if every 9 minutes a knife is being used to stab someone, we're just going to see headlines every single day of somebody being killed. And it's happening for people that some haven't even got previous convictions, and they're suddenly realising that they've stabbed someone and that person's died on the floor in front of them. So we really need to be thinking twice about carrying weapons. For any parents listening that think, wow, my child would never carry a knife, with respect, people's children are being arrested every day for carrying knives. So I think it's so important that we just have that conversation. Speak to your child about the reality of knife crime. Have a look in their bedroom, have a look in their drawer, in their bags. There's been many, many cases where parents have received phone calls to say their children, as young as 10 years of age, have been arrested for possession of a knife. So it's better to check, hold a conversation than getting that horrific phone call saying it's your child. It's very rare, but we need to do everything we can to stop another person being killed. And we need to do that as parents, as communities, anybody that has involvement with a young person. Hold a conversation and speak to them, and hopefully they'll open up. We need to be reassuring young people that areas are safe, buses are safe, parks are safe. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, no, the park by me isn't safe, the bus isn't safe, if you're aware of something that's making it unsafe, you need to report that. You need to make the authorities aware so they can go in and act and make that area feel safer. So please just try and do everything you can to stop another young person losing their life with a knife.
Wow. And with regard to, I guess, on the government level, was there anything in particular you would probably want to say to people who are making policies that are, I guess, making life that bit more of a struggle for young people at this point in time with the closure of youth clubs and youth provision and such? Is there anything you'd like to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to say what they've heard many, many times, but it falls on deaf ears. Until the government prioritise young people and realise and understand that more young people are dying through knife and gun crime than any terrorist attack, than any poisoning from Russia. Until they prioritise that and start reinvesting in services to support families, communities and young people, all we're going to see is an increase in knife crime. They talk the talk and say they want to make a difference, but they're doing it in such a slow, inconsistent way. We're losing the lives of our children on the streets of this country every single day. And I don't know what it's going to take for them to wake up. We hear them saying, we understand, we're going to do everything we can. You are not doing everything you can, far from everything you can. It's going to cost you a lot of money that you've taken out of services, money that you've taken out of communities, money that you've taken out of police forces around the country. Reinvest it, and then at least you can sleep better at night knowing that you haven't got blood on your hands and you are not responsible for a lot of these situations that we're seeing. And I'm not just talking knife crime, drugs, sexual exploitation, terrible housing, lots and lots of things around this country have deteriorated because of government. Not any particular government in general, because until any of them decide they're going to change the way things are and the way this country's run, nothing is ever going to improve and more people are going to die. Simple as that.
Wow, gosh, there's certainly been an eye-opening discussion with yourself, and I just want to thank you again for being a guest and letting people know about the amazing work that you do in the community throughout the UK, and introducing us to, for listeners who may not have heard of Joshua Ribera, your son, aka Depzman, and his work as well. I'm sure that a lot of listeners would have been nodding their head at some of the things he was saying, thinking, that's a bit like my story, I'm sure. And I just want to thank you again, Alison. I really, really do.
No, thank you for speaking to me, and I just hope that people support each other to do the best they can for their children, for their communities. And the last thing I'll say to any young person that's struggling, don't ever give up. Try every single angle you can in life until you find your success. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And that was the last thing I wanted to say.
Thank you again, Alison.
Thank you.
Bye for now. And if you want to find out more about Alison, find out more about her journey, her backstory, her son's story, or to support her and her son's music, because his music is fantastic. Let's keep that legacy going, support him, support her, and show your support by visiting AlisonCope.com. Okay, and we're back, and I'm back in the building now with a good friend of mine, an excellent poet, an elite athlete. It wasn't always this way. He's going to tell us a little bit of a story. He's going to give a quick little background. It's Matt Windle, the current Birmingham Poet Laureate of Birmingham. Matt, can you just give a quick, brief timeline of your journey, school, how that was for you, to where you are now? Just very as quick as.
Yeah, thank you for asking me to be part of this as well. So real quick, primary school, being younger, no issues at all. Getting to secondary school, teenager, got into a little bit more trouble, got a bit of a reputation for myself, maybe year 7 and 8 and part of year 9. We all know once you've got a reputation, it's hard to shake it off. So year 10, I was permanently excluded from school. Lots of things I did wrong and got in trouble for, rightfully so. Other things that I didn't do, but if I was anywhere near it, it must have been me, so I got in trouble for that as well. So excluded from school. It was then where I fell into poetry. I entered into the Young Poet Laureate competition, and then studied plumbing at college to bridge the gap from 16 to 18 because of child protection rules and all that sort of stuff. So like all budding poets, we studied plumbing at college, and then thankfully when I finished that, got all of my qualifications in 2009, went on to be a self-employed freelance poet, all whilst boxing at the time as an amateur boxer, and I now box as a professional and amateur and pro together. I've had 71 fights.
Well, that's outstanding, man. I mean, so excluded from school. What was the difficulties that you had at school?
It was the monotony of it, I think, of different lesson every hour, different teachers. They're a lot bigger at primary schools. Obviously they're much smaller. Senior
Buildings.
schools are bigger, so it's easy to get lost. And I think looking back on it now, I was a sort of child that needed positive reinforcement. I just didn't know what that was at the time. And you're kind of crying out for attention and to be noticed, and the only way you can be noticed if you're not exceptionally good is to be a little bit cheeky and a little bit naughty. Although I was saying that, I'm not saying I was exceptionally good, but I was in all of the top sets and I was captain of the football team, and so I was quite a well-rounded pupil. I just feel like without being big-headed, I had a little bit of something about me. I was a little bit of a cheeky chappy, and yeah, sometimes that's not always what teachers are looking for.
Cool. So eventually you got kicked out of school. What was you rebelling against, man? Do you think the main thing then, was it mainly like the work? Do you think school was supportive during that time to try and get you on the straight and narrow, so to speak?
Not at all. I thought there was, to a degree at the time, but we was at a seminar the other week where it was with Sisse, and he was talking about the power of persuasion, and it was almost that, because they kept saying, if you don't do this, then you'll get kicked out. If you don't do that, you'll get kicked out. And it was always, if you don't do, you've got to stop this. And it always then ended with, or you'll get kicked out.
Or
so it was
else.
always in there. But I wasn't happy at the school. I wasn't, a massive fan of the majority of pupils that were at the school. Like I say, I wasn't bullied or anything like that. I was one of the more popular lads, but I just wasn't happy there, and I believe that the majority of people's bad behaviour stems from a place of unhappiness, but unfortunately a lot of that comes from home life and stuff as well. So a school kicks people out, and that just reiterates their belief that nobody cares about them, so it makes them implode even more. Whereas where I was fortunate is my unhappiness was being at the school. So once I was away, my parents are amazing, so once I was away from the school, it was like to use a cliche, but a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders, and now I was determined to make something and do something. I didn't think just because I was at a pre-school for 3 mornings a week, wicked, I've got a 5-day weekend, or whatever it is. I was adamant that I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was adamant that I was going to work hard and do something positive.
Yeah. So you had that work ethic there, despite the system, the school system not being that supportive, almost negatively reinforcing you got to do this or else. And then eventually that led
I don't work too well with threats, I'm not. I stay. You know me, so you know what I'm like. I'm only small, but I'll stand up for that. And I've got that. Obviously, being a boxer, I've got that little bit of fight in me, in my heart. It's passion, and I don't just bow down to someone just because they're the person in authority, a teacher or something. If they said something that I didn't agree with, I'd question it and I'd challenge it, and I'm the same to this day, but you get away with it a little bit more when you're in your 20s or when you're a grown up. Whereas when you're younger, you've got a chip on your shoulder, or teachers don't like to be challenged, and I understand completely. You and I both work in schools. We know the pressures that teachers are under, and we have so much respect for teachers. And I do think myself now, if I had to work with someone like me on a day-to-day, it would be hard work, but I didn't just bow down and agree with everything that a teacher would say just because it came from the teacher.
Sure. So this first piece then, Turn to Rhyme. Do you want to give me just a quick brief introduction as to what that's about?
Yeah, real quick. So it's just a fictional story. As I say, my parents are amazing, but there are parallels of experiences that I've had along the way and things that people have said to me. But it's just about a young boy that gets neglected at home by his parents. He turns to writing to talk about those feelings as an outlet. He keeps it to himself because he doesn't want to get bullied or picked on at school, because poetry is a bit more of a geeky or a girly thing, so he keeps it to himself. People pick on him a little bit at school anyway. As he grows older, those poetry lyrics naturally and organically transcend into music and rap lyrics, and all of a sudden his hobby now is really popular. So the people that used to take the mick out of him at school now want to be his new best friend because he's doing well for himself.
Cool. So this is Turn to Rhyme.
A young man had a flashback. He started to track back so that you could be told a little story all about a teenager and when he was naughty. You see, glory is what he wished for, glory is what he dreamed, but he was heading for darkness, or that's how it seemed. He screamed on the inside, but had a calm complexion. So confused as to who he was, he never recognised his own reflection. Now neglect is what he detects and protection is what he needed. A word never heard, yet his eyes pleaded. He's number 2 seeded when he should be number 1. He's gone from 1 to none by his dad and his mum. He could have been a star that shone. Instead he's cared by no one, except his pen and his paper. And you should see what he comes up with just 1 hour later. You see, his talent is raw, but he has the skills and more. Now is the time to focus like Ford. Yet he can't afford to let the chance slip. So he clenches the pen and holds tight with his grip. He's ruled by his lip and his passion to rhyme. And no matter what goes on in his life, that makes everything fine. He can talk his mind without saying a word. He keeps it to himself, would be classed by his class as a nerd. I heard he didn't have friends, so he couldn't get close. He didn't take them back to his house, so none of them know what goes on at home. Because even in a crowded room, he still feels alone. The only time he feels at home is when he's gripping a microphone. He is in his own zone when he's writing. To escape the way his dad makes him frightened. You mean he put his hands on the kid? As if, see, his dad taught with his fists. His mum, she found it hard to live. His only gift and role model was YouTube poets. They help change your life, and yet they don't even know it. He is about to show the skills that he's learnt, and like a page, he'll take his turn. His turn to burn and blow and shine. He wants to show his skills of rhyme. He tries to bide his time in class, performs a piece, but the group just laugh. Yet thanks to his past, his mind is strong, just more determined to prove them wrong. So when his heart bleeds, it leaks through the pen, which means he creates a masterpiece again and again. The pen is his friend and the paper he trusts. To get even better, he feels that he must, but what's the rush? He's got the golden touch, the skills, and the chance to use it. So he cuts his words and he pastes to music. He works hard, gets ready to show the final piece which allows him to blow as time goes by. He leaves school and now they know him. Psst, I swear that's the kid that used to write them poems. Remember all the people that said he'd be nothing? Well now, they've all got his tune in their head. They're humming. Now look who's coming to his performances, front row of the audiences, saying he's sick. It feels like a magician, abracadabra, performing a trick. They walk up to him going, yes bruv, I remember you from school. Is everything live fam? Yeah, you're cool. See, it's funny how a few verses change all perception. But now he knows who he is when he sees his reflection. So turning to rhyme helped change his life, and whatever his past was, he turned out alright. And you can turn life on its head, and that goes to show. You don't let anything break you. You gain experience and you grow.
Yeah, so that was Turn to Rhyme. Matt, was you always this good at writing, man? Because your lyricism, your skills at conveying your thoughts, emotions and story through words is really incredible, man. Really, really amazing.
That was one of my earlier pieces. I was probably a teenager still when I wrote that piece. And when I first started writing poetry, I was a little bit more of a storyteller. Like with that, I'd tell a story through a poem. I've noticed a change with my recent poems where I used to talk kind of black and white. What I had to say is what I'd say.
So how old are you now? Sorry,
I'm 27.
So 27.
Now,
so
that would be about 2009, 2010 when I wrote that poem. Now I'm a bit more grey. I kind of write in metaphor a little bit more and leave it a bit more open to interpretation. But I don't know about my level of ability or anything like that. But the one thing I've always been able to do fairly comfortably is rhyme. I've always been able to rhyme with words since I was doing limericks as a year 3.
Wow.
I'd always finish first in class, and
awesome.
Obviously you don't think anything of it at the time, but it's kind of as you get older you think, oh actually I kind of have always had an interest in that.
Strength there. Yeah. So there are some good points of school that you managed to come away with.
Definitely in primary school, like I wasn't flew through it. Wasn't a problem at all.
So I mean, for me, like you say, we do a lot of work in schools, and kids have to go to school. My children, bless them, they're not massive fans of going to school necessarily, but I try to just convey to them, while you are there, try and make the most of it, try and extract the things that the experiences that you think kind of do suit you, the lessons and the topics and the themes, because that is still making you self-aware about the things that you like and the things that you don't like, and that is good, useful information, I think.
Exactly. It's not just that. It's not always just taking things about what you like. We learn from the things we don't like as well, and you don't know that you don't like something until you've tried it. So it's like when people haven't got a job because they say, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do. I'm figuring it out." Well, figure it out with a job. Get any job, doesn't matter what job. Just be working, be employed, be in work, because at least then you at least know what you don't want.
For sure. I mean, I remember when I left school, I really didn't have any clue what to do. Went to college, just tried lots of different things, dropped out of different courses that I thought I might like, but until you actually give it a taste, you don't know. And I don't think there's anything bad about that, because again, it's information. You've learning about yourself, you're developing self-awareness, and I think that's really, really important. But the other side of you then, Matt, so you've gone from the crew into writing, Young Poet Laureate. So how did that come about?
It was the teacher at the Prue and it's the teacher that I'll mention in a poem later on, called Sue Barnes, and we had to write around the theme of homelessness for coursework, and she said you either have to write a 2-page story or a 1-page poem. So like,
no-brainer.
Are you for real? 1 page? As I said, I could rhyme anyway. I liked writing raps and lyrics and songs and MCs, although I didn't think of them as poetry, even though it is. But I wrote anyway. So I thought, I'm going to do a 1-page poem. It's half the work. I can rhyme words easy. That's what I'll do. So I did. She was impressed. Birmingham at the time was the only city in the whole of the country, even including London, that had a Young Poet Laureate competition. She got the application for it. Said, I saw this in my pigeonhole and you should enter. And I read it. Could you be Birmingham's next Young Poet Laureate? What does that word say, miss? You know, I didn't even know what a laureate was, or I didn't know that you could be kind of a naughty teenage poet. Every poet I'd ever had to learn about or had heard of was dead. Probably by a good few hundred years. So it opened up a whole new world to me, because you know poets exist, obviously, or existed, but I didn't know that you could actually be a poet. So it was obviously
as a career option.
Yeah, as a career option.
Yeah.
I know. My parents, they're, as I say, my whole family, absolutely amazing. But Sue Barnes, the English teacher at Wake Green Prue, she was the one that had a real belief. And then when I made the final 10, where I had to perform my poetry for the first time, it was Saturday afternoon, really difficult to get into the city centre because of roadworks that were ongoing and the festival that was happening. It was really busy, and bless her, she made it into the library theatre. So I'm there stage, shaky bit of paper because I'm nervous, and my English teacher on a Saturday afternoon from my Prue school is there, bless her. So really appreciate that.
Amazing. Now the other side of your life, the boxing, so you're able to get things out of your system through words. This other side then, the boxing, what's that about?
Yeah, it's an emotional and a physical outlet with the poetry and the boxing. So again, it was something I wanted to do when I was younger. And my mum was like, my baby's not boxing, not at all. So that was about 10. Then it got to 15. As I say, I wasn't at school anymore. I got banned from football for fighting with the parents every week or every other week, because I was, the way I always explain it is I was a Roy Keane in a diving Didier Drogba era. So I'd give a lad a good shoulder barge, he'd go flying. His dad would take offence to that, and then me with the little gob on me would rise up to it, and before you know it was all going off. So
fireworks, man.
Yeah, got letters from the FA, so I wasn't allowed to play football anymore. I was a good sprinter, sprinted nap for England. I was the West Midland champion. I had the 3rd fastest time in the country for 100 metres and was in the top 10 for 200 metres. But I just didn't enjoy running. And obviously with that, training is running. It's just running. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, running. And I just didn't enjoy it. Plus, I also thought, as I'm getting older, as good as I am at sprinting, I'm not going to make a living off of it. You've got to be one of the best in the world. I'm 5'4". You know, if you look at me in comparison to Usain Bolt, height-wise, for example, I come to about his hips. So I was never going to make it in terms of financially as a sprinter. So, as I said, I didn't want to be on my PlayStation all day. I wanted to do something productive with my time. So I said, can I try the gym? My parents thought we'd rather him do that than nothing at all. And boxing's a sort of sport you can't come off halfway through if you're not enjoying it, if you're having a bad day or something. If you don't love it, you won't stick it. So many people quit boxing. I always say, so when I started the gym on a Friday night, there was 4 new people, myself plus 3 others. When it came to the Monday, so only 2 days had passed over the weekend. When it came to the Monday, I was the only one that returned. So it's almost like a quarter of people just within 3 days that come to the gym. 3/4 of them had disappeared, and only 1/4 of them was still standing. So obviously, like I said, I did love it. I've won Birmingham titles, Midland titles. I've been ranked 8th in the country as an amateur. I did trials for England as a professional. I've been ranked 6th in Britain, 10th in Europe. It's like 102 in the world or something like that. And then I won the international challenge bout title in my last fight.
Fantastic. So, can you tell us a little bit about this next poem then, titled "The Greatest"?
Yeah, so I was doing a radio show for the BBC after Muhammad Ali died, and they asked me to talk about his career and the impact he had on my life and so on and so forth. And I know what radio shows are like. They often say, have you got a couple of lines that you could just share with us like this? So I didn't want to be caught off guard. So I started writing a bit of a poem about Muhammad Ali, trying to put his life, his career into a condensed poem. And I started off and I managed to do the first few lines, with a bit of ease and so on and so forth. So when I did it, I thought, now, I've just got to do this whole poem. I was only planning on doing the first little bit in case they asked, but I was like, I've got to do the poem. And then I got to the radio show on the Monday, and of course they didn't ask for any poems or anything, because it's always the way. But I was prepped, So this is about Muhammad Ali. Of course, he's a massive inspiration, because when people say to me, I've never heard of a boxing poet before, they go, oh, I've maybe heard of one, Muhammad Ali. And I say he was better than me at boxing, but I'm probably better than him at poetry.
Hey, you've got to have conviction and confidence in yourself, man.
But of course, it's strange, because it's quite, within the boxing world, it's quite well agreed upon that he's probably not the greatest boxer to ever have lived, but he is the greatest sportsman to have ever lived, because he's so much more than boxing, and he's so much more than sport. He's just a different level. He is a category of his own, with what he stood for and what he represented, and the times that he had to go through, and the
principles that he stood by,
just a different level, So I was really inspired to keep writing this poem. And this piece as well, it's called The Greatest, but the video for it is on YouTube as well, so people can check that out.
That reminds me, Matt, so where can people check out more of your stuff?
Although I might be chatting quite a lot, we can talk for hours, so we are whizzing through. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Matt Windle Poet. Windle is like swindle, but without the S, so it's just Wind and LE. So Matt Windle Poet. I'm pretty responsive.
Double T.
Double T on Matt. If anyone wants to know any more about what it is that we do, if anyone would like to invite us into their schools, if they're teachers or whatever it may be, then I'm really accessible on social media, so just give us a shout.
Cool, brilliant. So this is The Greatest.
Who could float like a butterfly and sting like a bee?
Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
The greatest here champion you ever will see. The story began with the abduction of his bike, and that set the wheel turning to change a young man's life. Directed towards boxing by the Louisville police, a young Cassius Marcellus Clay told them he'd whoop the thief. Then you better learn to box, said the officer, and Cassius began to use his fists before fighting for his country and winning gold at the Olympics. 19 professional opponents tried, but with his speed he could not miss them, ranking up 19 victories, and the next was Sonny Liston. Though an underdog he may have been, he knew greatness would beckon. His pre-fight prediction proven right when Liston never came out for the 7th. With odds at 7-1, many people lost their money because it beat him up so bad it was a total eclipse of the sunny.
I told the world,
he screamed,
I must be the greatest. The champ is here.
Eventually added to his mantra and his playlist. Shortly after, Cassius changed his name. Muhammad Ali was born and the world would never be the same. Then in '66, Ali refused to serve.
And shoot them for what? They never called me nigga.
And he stayed true to his word. In-ring antics followed as he opposed Ernie Terrell. What's my name?
What's my name? Bow.
He would yell. Ernie thought it funny to call him Cassius Clay, but Muhammad was not laughing and he promised to make him pay. Ali shuffled towards one more defence before having his title stripped. Sympathy for him gained momentum though his prime years had been ripped. It wouldn't be until the 70s that his skills would next to measure in the fight of the century versus unbeaten Frazier. Both men battled bravely until the 15th round complete. A unanimous decision for Smoking Joe gave Ali his first defeat. His fight just 4 months later was for the NABF title. If he wanted a rematch with Frazier, then winning would be vital. Once Ali avenged his second loss to Ken Jawbreaker Norton, he stepped in the ring with Smoking Joe, who was extinguished by George Foreman. Muhammad had set up a title shot for later on that year, taking on formidable Foreman in Africa, Zaire. Though we beat Tarzan's behind first for claiming to be the king of the jungle, he wrestled with alligators, tussled with a whale. Now watch the young man rumble. They all wrote Ali off again, no one gave him a hope. Is that all you've got, George? The greatest said as he played the rope-a-dope. Echoing throughout all the streets, the people would chant and say, Ali, kill him. Ali, kill. Foreman started to slow down, he had to slam on the brakes. This is the wrong place to get tired, then Ali stopped him in round 8. A decider was destined against Frazier, and both men promised to deliver. They brought the heat and came close to death with a thriller in Manila. For 6 more years he fought on, losing just 3 further times, as the final bell began to ring on Ali's career and poetry rhymes. Though his battle was not over, his hardest fight had just begun, but there was no man, nor illness, this legend would try to shun. He spreads peace and unity with the mention of either name. His fire burns eternally, as did his Olympic flame. His health deteriorated, but he remains an inspiration, a prophet of sorts believed by some in every nation. He is the greatest sportsman that there will ever be, the Louisville Lip, the people's champ, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, so that was the greatest. Well, I feel like I need a moment to let those words just soak in a little bit, man. Yeah, incredible, man. How do you feel about the boxing game at the moment, man? I mean, regards to health and some of the controversy at the moment. You know, there seems to be a lot of fear around the sport. To some extent.
It's strong because we've got a heavyweight world champion. So if the heavyweight division is doing well, boxing is doing well. So because Anthony Joshua is running things at the minute, in terms of a public interest, armchair fans, so on and so forth, boxing from that perspective is doing really good. You always get people on the other side of the fence that see the obvious trauma that can come from being punched in the head, and they reference things like Nick Blackwell, who a little while back was put in a coma fighting Chris Eubank Jr. and so on and so forth. But there were more people die from the Tour de France that year than the whole of people that died from boxing that year. So I think it was 2007. I think it was last year. It may have even been 2 years ago. More people died just on one cycling tour than the whole year of professional boxing. So although there's obvious trauma, it's few and far between when it's really serious and life-threatening. And there's elements and risk elements to any sport, especially, but everything that we do really day to day. You know, people working on building sites and working in tall properties, and you know, whatever it is, there's a risk to everything. It's just because you've got the obvious fist to head, people take a little bit more of a, you know, whatever offence or a problem with it. But we know what the dangers are when getting into the ring, so no one forces us.
Yeah, it's interesting how obviously opinions swayed one way or another by the information and stories that are presented out there, even when not only to, I guess, health, sports, how these things are perceived and whatnot, dangers, but also people. This next piece, what do you see when you look at me? What would you want to give a little bit of an introduction as to what this was about?
Yeah, I mean, for that one, the title is a little bit kind of self-explanatory really, but it's just talking a little bit about my differences. It talks about the times that I went through at school. It talks about a lot of the things that we've already spoken about, but it mentions me being excluded from school. It talks about me getting involved with boxing, having a supportive teacher in a crew, doing plumbing, and not wanting to be a plumber, but talking earlier about just doing something, even if you don't know what you want to do. Doing something is better than doing nothing at all. So it talks about that. It mentions a lot of the things that we've already discussed on the show, but you now get to hear it in verse.
Awesome.
What do you see when you look at me? Right now you see me as the poetry man, but on a Friday night in the club I'm just every man, dancing however I can. But on the weekdays as a teen I was studying at college. I think I'm gonna fail this test, I'm running out of plumbing knowledge. Next to my mates you see a lad that's 5'4" high, but you never really know what's going on inside. See, everywhere I go people tell me I'm small. You're kinda stating the obvious, so I just reply, you're tall. In the bullring shops, I'm just a man in a crowd. Writing a slam like this just means I'm thinking out loud. A few years ago, people were calling me a bum. You got kicked out of school, you're gonna be dumb. But I took my opportunities when they arose. Had obstacles in front of me, but I was quick on my toes, and the haters froze. And I popped through the dark cloud. Now all of a sudden, that boy came to our school, he's made us so proud. You might see someone with hardly a penny to his name, mates, parents whispering, psst, he's got no direction in life. Oh, what a shame. But others might see me as one lucky lad, 'cause without my mum and dad, I wouldn't have got far. To do the little things like cook me dinner and drop me off in the car. Now people are like, rah, is that Matt? Who would have thought it? The chance was thrown at me, so with two hands I caught it. But the man that you see spitting a rhyme isn't just spitting all of the time. He swaps the mic for gloves as he prepares for a fight, hoping tonight the punches are right. But just like a slam, it's all about points. I know how to put pipes together, but that's no good for my joints. See, I'm the man that rocks and knocks ya. The man that does poetry is also a boxer. A what, sir? A boxer? See, you should never judge a book by its cover. The man that fights is a lyrical lover. People say, oh, well, that's a strange combination. Dreadlock Alien thought when he met me that I was on probation. When you see me, let's face it, you might just see a hoodie job that's out on the streets trying to get a job. Or you might see someone that's good as gold, he's just misunderstood, his side hasn't been told. But the kids like that, adults couldn't manage them. Oh, I'll write you a letter for anger management. That's the way to make it all better. Now they want the credit when they only typed up a letter. See, I was on the bus every Tuesday, travelling for hours, when they could have just saw the poetry powers, but then Sue Barnes did, and that's led to today. It's funny how everything worked out this way. I just crossed my fingers and toes, and who knows where all this will take me. But one thing's for a fact, there is nothing that will break me. So there you go, there's some info to help you see. I hope you notice something different the next time you look at me.
There you go. Sue Barnes getting a shout out there as well.
Had to.
Yeah, man. We all remember our teachers, don't we, man? Those special ones who just made us feel...
We're quick to moan about the ones that we don't like and the ones that always told us off, and we always remember the ones that were good, but we're not so quick to shout them out and reference them.
Yeah, man.
And like I say, it's safe to say that if Sue Barnes wouldn't have put the Young Poet Laureate application form in front of me as a kind of semi-naughty 15-year-old lad, there's no way that I'd be doing what I'm doing now.
Well, Matt, you're doing some great work throughout the UK and beyond as well. You're going abroad soon, aren't you? In
Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur in Germany and Austria and stuff like that.
So that's
and Wales as well.
Oh, wow,
country
yeah.
as well. So Wales as well.
Yeah. So the work that you do then, primarily, what would you say it kind of like centres on then?
It centres on getting young people writing and trying to make them believe that whatever their hobbies, their interests, their passions are, they can make a life out of that. But they also have to work hard for it. Doesn't matter how talented they are at something or how badly or how quickly they think the person they're following on Instagram got their millions. It all comes down to hard work. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So you've got to have that work ethic, you've got to graft, you've just got to keep pushing through, keep moving forward.
Can we get your website?
Yeah, and the website is poetrywithpunch.com.
and people can see a couple of videos.
Videos on YouTube, just Matt Windle Poet on YouTube and all that sort of stuff as well. And then on the website it gives you a few more descriptions of my poetry classes, the boxercise and poetry classes that I combine.
Awesome. Awesome, and the tracks that we played today, they're just a little sample on the album that you've got, The School of Bard Knocks. Cool title. I'm loving the presentation of the
pop
CD,
art,
the pop art, and there's so much on this album as well. It's like 22 pieces of material. The first 12, would you say, more?
Yeah, first 11, first 12. Number 12 is What Do You See When You Look At Me? So that's not at all inappropriate for primary school, but probably year 5, year 6, as they're starting to become a little bit more paranoid of maybe how they look or how people judge them and so on and so forth. And then from 12 right through to 21 are more my senior school poems, and then 22 is the bonus Muhammad Ali poem.
Sure, but if any youngsters were to get hold of this, there's no track on there that's like, outrightly offensive. There's nothing for parents to worry about.
No.
So very much in mind for young people, developing young people, this album goes out to.
Yeah, it's something for them to listen to, hopefully get a bit of inspiration for, and something for teachers to use as a bit of a resource when they're trying to make poetry a little bit more cool and acceptable for their students.
Awesome, I'm going to be listening to this in the car, man, so I appreciate this copy, man, so I appreciate that.
You.
Take care, Matt, real pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Right then, joining me on the phone, it's a pleasure to have her time right now. Zara Sykes from Birmingham, my neck of the woods. Zara, do you want to give the audience a little quick brief about yourself, who you are, what you do, what inspires you?
Yeah, what's good, people? I am Zara Sykes. I am an artist from Birmingham. I rap, I write, and I do various other stuff. And it's a pleasure to be on your show, Mr. Kurly.
Hey, no, pleasure's all ours, man. Pleasure's all ours. So Zara, you've been involved in many campaigns over the years as well. You do lots of youth work. Last year you was at the Notting Hill Carnival on the float. You've also been on the Love Music Hate Racism Carnival float at a few protests as well, which has been amazing. Do you remember being at the top of the float performing back in the winter?
I do, because I remember it was a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cold, but it was a really cool event. I mean, people came out even though it was cold to support the cause. The atmosphere was just immense, and it was just an amazing experience, really. Yeah,
man, and for me, you're like one of those conscious writers and performers who writes about things that are going on in the world. But the first track I wanted to share with the audience was Feel Good. So I was getting into the chorus then, giving the chorus away. Sorry about that. But yeah, Feel Good. So can you tell us a little bit about Feel Good then, Zara?
Yes, Feel Good was kind of inspired. It was written with Eye to Eye and also Tina Allen as well. And they said, you know what, we've got this rhythm, and I'm not the only person on this rhythm. You've got people like Peter Spence on the rhythm as well, and other artists as well, the reggae artists. And you know, there's like, write this, you know, can you do something to this? I got this rhythm, I really want you to kind of be on it. And yeah, I kind of sat and just got the flow, and it just made me feel good. And so I was like, wow, the track makes me feel good.
Cool.
You know what? Call it Feel Good. And we wrote about feeling good and just kind of some things to try and uplift.
Cool.
The community, really. Yeah.
So important nowadays. Okay, people, so this is Feel Good by Zara Sykes.
I wanna feel good, right? I wanna feel good. Feel good. I wanna feel good, right? I wanna feel good, right?
Yeah, this makes me reminisce on days that have passed. Had some good times and still having a blast. Never knew how long anything would really last, but embracing every moment, cause the time is moving fast, yeah. So let's keep building, support one another like walls to the ceiling, yeah. And make time for healing, push through the barriers while you're still breathing. They say that these are the last days, and the wicked man still can't change his ways. But I things worse or better. The last days could have been when people followed Hitler. Yo, and my teeth are still skinning, cause life can be beautiful if you wanna live it. Shine like a star, don't let the haters limit it. When they think you're about to fall, that's when you bring it, bring it, bring it. I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good. Yeah, I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good vibes. I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good. Yeah, I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good vibes. Yeah, this makes me think about the world that we live in. The moon and the sun and the seeds still growing. Wind through the trees, yeah, that them call blowing. Seasons pass, new life starts flowing. Yeah, with nothing new under the sun. They say everything has already been done. Still it's new to us, so embrace every moment, cause in Most High we trust. They say that these are the last days, and the wicked man still can't change his ways. But are things worse or better? The last days could have been when people followed Hitler. Yeah, and my teeth are still skinning, cause life can be beautiful if you wanna live it. Shine like a star, don't let the haters dim it. And when the thing you're about to fall, that's when you bring it, bring it, bring it. I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good. I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good vibes. I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good. I wanna feel good vibes, I wanna feel good vibes. This makes me reminisce on days that have passed. Had some good times and still having a blast. Never knew how long anything would really last, but embracing every moment, cause the time is moving fast, yeah. So let's keep building, support one another like walls to the ceiling, and make time for healing. Push through the barriers while you're still breathing.
Hey, so that was Feel Good Vibe. Zara, I'm in a real good vibe now, man. I'm sure our listeners are too. Brilliant. Loving it, loving the tunes, man. Where can people get your tunes from, Zara?
You know, iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, all of the online platforms, really, musical platforms.
Cool.
The songs are available there, yeah. And Feel Good is available there, yeah.
Brilliant. So Zara with a Z, Zara Sykes, Sykes. So the next tune, and Zara, the next tune, Winner. What was the inspiration behind this tune?
Again, that thing of inspiring people to, kind of be the best that you can be. My thing is, I have tough times. I don't always make the right decisions. However, one thing I never want to do is give up, and so that's where that comes from. And so it's just to encourage people not to give up, and that we're all winners. We all have something inside of us that keeps us going, and about harnessing it in you and finding it and
absolutely
running with it. You know what I mean?
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is Winner by Zara Sykes.
There's a hunger in my belly for more. Every day I wanna live life and learn more. Change up the grains with my personal score. I'm my biggest threat, so I gotta be sure. You can't access my mind, it's untainable. The dynamics I possess is unexplainable. You only get from me what I give, and I can only share from the life that I've lived. The biggest tool that we all possess is called love. Hit adapts and it fits all just like a glove. Love is the power to unlock all doors. You're your biggest threat, so you better be sure. Yeah. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Fight to the finish, that makes me a winner. 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 Fight to the finish, that makes me a winner.
Race is about one before the sound of the gun. Put your mind to it, fly through it, run. We as flyers, they come, but beating them like a drum. No sticks, oh shit, I'm so sweet with it. Bringing it all up to be living in norms. BFG, I catch dreams, stack greens, jack beans. Got me climbing for the clouds with the CFCs. So high with no THCs, no hash. Progressive individuals never go back. The only sport I got time for's a Range Rover. Ha, Avery Watts, the takeover.
I'm a winner. Winner. I'm a winner. Fight to the finish, that makes me a winner. 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 Fight to the finish, that makes me a winner. I don't lose, I win, because I won't give in. Said it's the yes attitude within that's got me saying, that's got me saying, that's got me saying, I'm a winner. Says I'm a winner. Says I'm a winner. Oh, says I'm a I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Fight to the finish, that makes me a winner. 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 I'm a winner. Fight to the finish, that makes me a winner.
Hey, so that was Winner by Zara Sykes. Zara, the production on that track is crazy, man. I mean, who's the producer for that particular tune?
That's Red Star. Red Star with 2 R's. He's from Birmingham, another talented rapper, producer, videographer. We did that track, I think it was. 2000. Well, I can't off the top of my head, you know. Yeah, my brain.
No problem. Well, honestly, man, that tune is really nuts, man, and I'm loving the flow, loving the lyrics, man. Our final tune. Now, this is a tune that I was very fortunate to be part of as well. So, We Will Not Fall. And this is where we kind of got our collaborative game together, and that's where we got the opportunity to perform it on top of the Love Music Hate Racism float back in the winter. We mentioned earlier on the protests and stuff, man, going through London, having this tune pumping out for everyone to hear. How did that feel for you, Zara?
It was an amazing experience. It's crazy because, you know, when I wrote that song, I was in my uni lesson, and it was a lesson on hegemony, and it kind of got me thinking, and I started writing, and it took, you know, for a while actually the track was kind of waiting in the pipeline to come to life, if you know what I mean. And so to hear like people sing the song back to you when you kind of wrote it with that kind of intention, it was just a bit nuts. It was just a bit nuts. And obviously to have, you know, your talent itself on the track as well as support and being there, and we're both giving it and getting it back. it was a really good feeling. It was a really good feeling.
Cool. I mean, I remember us performing this in the early summer as well, man, at the Windrush campaign as well in Birmingham. That happened as well, man. So this tune's been around a bit, to be fair. Performed at a few different venues for the various causes. So we will not fall.
I'm not your target, alright like Joan Jett. Put this in your set, DJ, do your bit. We're under pressure, that you can't even measure. Come to end the temper when you feel more pain and pleasure. It won't go away, with tea and biscuits for the brave-hearted. Will you risk it? Right now, survival of the fittest. It's always been this way. History is the witness. There's no time for moping. There's only time for hoping. There's only time for coping. Yeah. Where's the hero at? Someone inspiring, uplifting to get the place singing. I'd rather stand for something than fall for nothing. I'd rather test the waters and call you bluffing. I'd rather do my thing and leave a mark. I'd rather see the light than live my life in the dark. Dark, 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 dark. United we stand, divided we fall. Join voice, join force to the answer, the core. We can get there, we can load share. Fists in the air and leave them there till they see us here, see us loud and clear. Show no fear even when there's tears, cause in time only the rich survive. But this time, yo, let's let the truth arrive. I says ring a ding a doses, we strike poses. We won't fall down, no, cause we were made that way. So just walk this way.
Never conform the light to us all. To manage the masses by making a small. Truth only has use when questioned, so examine the norm. Change your thoughts to change the course. Democracy means that we can literally change the law, so they're the same for rich and poor. On a mission with optimism, it's the fuel for the vision to learn much quicker. As a beginner to be a winner, you need to listen, learn from loss, be a boss. Time is ticking, count the cost. Blockchain the whole game with empathy at the top. The high the tax to buy futuristic mansions, while we pay to live in some past tense, cause we're divided and conquered. So what you gonna do before your time's spent?
I'd rather stand for something than fall for nothing. I'd rather test the waters and call you bluffing. I'd rather do my thing and leave a mark. I'd rather see the light than live my life in the dark. Dark, 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 dark. We will not.
Yay, We Will Not Fall, Zara Sykes, featuring myself. But Zara, honestly, you're one of those conscious writers, as I mentioned earlier, and performers. I like to think of myself as one. It was great having the opportunity to combine on a little project there. But in terms of your material, your work, where's the best place then for people to find out more about Zara Sykes?
Online, so Zara Sykes on social media platforms. And that will bring you to my, Instagram, Facebook, and I'll keep you updated there on what's happening. Also, tracks, as I said, are available. The ones you heard today and more are available on iTunes, Spotify, and all the major music platforms. and you know, I do conscious stuff, and I do some kind of. I try to do bubblegum stuff. If you know what I mean? I try. You know what I mean? So it's be there, but there's always a message in there somewhere. But it's just I suppose it's just where it comes from, and just, you know, how I feel.
Yeah.
Even if we're talking about making, you know, even if we're talking about, you know, some of the, you know, the graphic stuff, you know, making, you know, even something as simple as that, you know, the message behind it, you know, the meaning, actually, it's meaningful, do you know what I mean? It's, you know, not just sometimes how people can make things.
For sure, wow.
Not really degrading, you know what I mean? You know, we want to try and, you know, make it nice.
No, I mean,
this
is the thing. That's what strikes me about you, man. You're very positive, optimistic, very kind as well, you know, and you do try and make a positive difference when you get the opportunity, and I kind of sense that in the music, like, you know, we're not all going to live forever, but in the time that you are here, you're going to leave something behind that's going to mean something. So, again, a pleasure to have you on the show. I hope the audience enjoyed it. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to say before you had to go, because I know you're busy.
No, well, just thank you again for this platform, and it's been an enjoyable evening. Half listening to myself and listening to you mostly.
No, a real pleasure. Real pleasure, real honour, and look forward to working with you again soon, Zara.
And also, let me just big up all of the artists, you know, all of the young people out there that are making a difference. All of the artists out there, music artists, this industry is not easy, and so you know, when you can be creative and you're passionate about your art and stuff, and you get the chance to, you know, share it, you know, it's a beautiful thing. So you know, to the people, you know, keep up the good work yourself, including, you know, keep up the good work.
Awesome. Again, Zara, great message, great opportunity that you know, great way of spending the opportunity there, sharing that message again. Thank you so much, Zara, for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
No worries, man.
Well, you take care, stay safe, speak soon. Bye for now.
And you. Bye.
Bye. So that was Zara Sykes, people. You can find out more about her. Please support her. She's a great artist, great person. So please go visit Zara Sykes on any social media platform. So that's Zara, Zara, and Sykes, Sykes. Now, I'm going to play some of my tunes now. This next tune is a combination of a poem and a bit of hip hop, and it's to build awareness for a young boy who's gone through some very, very difficult times at the moment with his skin. He has epidermolysis bullosa, which is a very, very bad skin condition. His name is Matt Windle. He's the Pride of Britain winner. He has an inspiration. Ambassador at Children's Hospice. You know, he's doing great work trying to raise awareness around helping other people have confidence and make the most out of life. Yet he's undergoing very, very difficult, very challenging, very painful times each and every day, as he has to go through a medical process to change his bandages that requires him to have to sit in the bath for a fair few hours so the bandages soften and they can be taken off rather than being peeled. They have to be wet when they're taken off, because if they're dry, it will take his skin away. And he has, you know, very little skin on his back. Skin growth is very, you know, shortcoming. Doctors said that when he was born, he wouldn't make it to over 12 months. He's now 18 years old, and there is a campaign for him to help raise enough money to go and afford to get his skin treatment done abroad, which he has to pay for £250,000. There's a mofund.co.uk where you can find out more about his story and ways in which you can support. So this is my tune for Matt Windle, and it's called No Excuses.
Causes pain that gets compounded to levels where wounds never heal. But through the pain, Mo is surrounded with the love of loved ones, and he left doctors astounded. He won't live to 12 months, they'd said, with uni degrees while academically read, proving knowledge can get clouded. And the sky can get cloudy with a chance of rain. Life with its bliss can get rowdy with a good chance of pain, causing us to slip off our lane, nearly drive us insane. But at times I look at other people's lives and I think and I say, I can't complain. Empathy, a remedy, conjuring humane energy, more important than anyone with status, e.g. a celebrity. That's easy for me to say, and perhaps easy for you to say. But how easy for Mo though, when each day for 18 years the skin has felt like it's been on fire in different ways for most of the day. But hey, we know better though, cause if he was your sibling he'd have no better bro. Cause Mo stays positive, focusing on the successes in the day. Despite the painful excesses, it's a humble display of fortitude and grace in the face of a chance. Tenacious and courageous, he reaches out and grabs an opportunity. And who'd have thought that with the continuity of our support that there might be a chance to improve. And this is one of those times where you know deep down that seeing someone else a little bit happier would make you happier too. Not by what you say, but by what you do. So in any practical way, can you help mowing through? Courage, facing it like mowing Eunice. If he can do it, then most of us have no excuses. Come on, together we can do this. Courage, facing it like mowing Eunice. If he can do it, then most of us have no excuses. Come on, together we can do this. Come on, together we can do this. Deep depths of pain, deeper than skin deep. It's okay to weep, it doesn't mean that you're weak. It's accepting so-called burdens of the person that you are. But you're made of many elements, evident in stars. Still able to shine, able to climb out from the darkness, eclipsing the mind. As an architect of life, what will you design? With what you've been given the choices to define whether you'll shine or decide to decline. The mindset aspect we can't undermine. Mind full of thoughts, heart full of hurt. The fight is to convert true worth from life's dirt that helps you to grow like a seed from the earth. Isn't nothing more painful than a rebirth? I know a young man who goes through it every day. Have you heard of mowing Eunice and the courage he displays? Courage, facing it like mowing Eunice. If he can do it, then most of us have no excuses. Come on, together we can do this. Courage, facing it like mowing Eunice. If he can do it, then most of us have no excuses. Come on, together we can do this. Come on, together we can do this.
So that was No Excuses, written and performed by my good self, and also produced by John Purser. And he helped with the video as well. There's a music video to go with that as well, which you can find on my website, kurlyspoetry.com. That's Kurlys, poetry.com, all one word. So the track is also available to download on iTunes as well. So every penny that the track generates by iTunes will be donated towards the Mo Fund. So if you go to mofund.co.uk, you'll be able to find out more about Moin and his story, and find out how you might be able to support or raise awareness or practically get involved in helping to raise funds as well towards his life-changing operation that will fundamentally just change him and his family's life without doubt. There's the BBC documentary on the website and on there as well, and I do advise for you to check it out because it really is eye-opening, and you'll just see yourself just how kind and super warm and giving Moin is, despite the fact he's gone through so much pain at the moment on a daily basis. And yeah, I mean, he's an inspiration in himself. I mean, the way he tries to plead with people to make the most of their lives, appreciate what they've got, it's really incredible. Yeah, so music is a powerful thing. I do a lot of work with Love Music Hate Racism, and Love Music Hate Racism is actually the child of Rock Against Racism. Those of you who might not know, who may have older siblings or parents or family members or friends, ask them about the Rock Against Racism movement that took place during the 70s. And yeah, you'll hear just how fundamentally it shifted the political climate that saw a lot of fear-mongering and hatred geared towards people of colour or minorities in general, and the tide being shifted towards more positive and more open and more welcome and understanding and tolerant atmosphere, just through music, the positive messages that music was able to put out and galvanise people together was such a powerful thing. So if you don't know about the Rock Against Racism, I do advise you to have a little look into that, being as the climate that we're in today, in this day and age, in the 2018 world, is somewhat of a similar ilk. And Love Music, Hate Racism is the broader term rather than rock against racism, rock genre. We're saying music, across the board. Love music and hate racism. So if you want to find out more, there's wear the t-shirts, buy the badges, similar to what was done in the 70s that helped to beat back the rise of the National Front and the like, where the National Front were actually gaining in the polls at the time, which is quite scary. But music was used as a medium to help spread the message of love. We saw groups of people who you might not imagine actually working together on a regular basis, putting on great events. So you had like the rock scene, the punk scene, you had the reggae scene, and out of that, we saw ska music evolve. And so, there's a lot to be said about collaboration and people coming from the same place of intent. And we're all human beings and we're all social and we all got the similar needs as well. We all love. I like to think so. And we all need to eat. We all love our families. We all want the best for those we care for. We want an easy life as possible. Why make it more difficult by just, succumbing to the fear and having anger towards people that you've never met or know very little about. We do tend to generalise at times as well, which isn't that helpful either too. So music, very powerful medium for helping us think a little bit more and helping to break down barriers. This next tune that I'm going to share with you kind of reflects that too. It's called Gotta Wake Up, and it's a bit of a poem again at the beginning, and it goes into a bit more hip-hoppy, kind of like electronic, kind of dancey, kind of good vibes, let's put it that way. Alright, so this is Gotta Wake Up by my good self.
Now we all desire peace and harmony, but it looks like we might need to inspire some sparks to ignite the truth that laments deep in all of our hearts, and get on our Carl and Eleanor marks and go. Learn about the past to make future change so it don't get worse, and understand that we must all come together, because a fractured class is most definitely a poor person's curse. So, gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Whoa, gotta wake up, we gotta wake up, we gotta wake up right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. Yes, let's come together, unite and be free. Don't fight each other and die for the street. Yes, I know you're hungry, but don't fall for the wall like Trumpty Dumpty. Scarcity makes the brain scramble. Poverty is hard to handle. Government invented the scandal, centuries old to keep us all strangled. Hate each other so they can reign free. Brainwash is why they hate me. Divide and conquer, grand supremacy over the poor and the vast majority. I've been taught to blame someone else while the rich rob the public's wealth. Know your true opposition, love music and hate racism. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up, we gotta wake up right now. We gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. Music brings us together, no one here will live forever. Music brings us together, time is short so love is much better. Music brings us together, no one here will live forever. Time is short so love is much better. Much better than war, mass murder the poor and who make profit from the bullets, bombs and those big expensive rockets. Innocence dies, mankind led by the blind. Extreme greed and only love can stop it. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up, we gotta wake up right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. You think you're bad? Bro, the government's gangster, you think you're bad? Nah, bro, the government's gangster, you think you're bad? Bro, The government's gangster. Check out the crew. Corrupt politicians and bankers on the rub, on the job. If you speak out, they'll shut your gob. Got us caged just like hamsters running on the spot. To be free, unity's the key. It's 2017, but hey yo, we're trapped in this working class. Jim Crow 2.0. Gotta get down, gotta get down. We gotta get down right now. Gotta get down, we gotta get down. We gotta get down right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. We gotta wake up right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. Yo, gotta get down, we gotta get down, we gotta get down right now. Gotta get down, gotta get down, we gotta get down right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up, we gotta wake up right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. As a class, we must focus on the starving and the homeless, on the old, on the weak. It's time to act and not just speak. Hold our leaders to account, don't let them scapegoat someone else. Education is pivotal, the situation is critical. Yeah, education is pivotal. The situation is critical. Care to vote, vote to care. Yeah, gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up, we gotta wake up right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta get down, gotta get down, gotta get down right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up, we gotta wake up right now. Gotta wake up, we gotta wake up.
Yay. So there's Gotta Wake Up, written, performed and produced by myself. Actually recorded the lyrics at the Song Lab, which is a studio based in the Jewelry Quarter in Birmingham. Johnny Amos, Meldra Gulza. A big shout out to you guys. And big shout out to all the wonderful people actually that I've been fortunate to have some of their time and hopefully bring some value to all of you guys out there, from Soho Radio listeners and beyond. I like to think that I like to try and bring value to the community, whether it's through my music or with some of the interviews that I've been fortunate to capture and share. So I'd like to say again a big thank you to Alison Cope, who shared her amazing trials and tribulations and how she's converting that into something positive for the community, those that we care and love. Despite the fact that she's had a huge loss with losing her son. That really touched me, man. I'm sure for many of you out there that would have touched you too. So big thank you to Alison Cope, and thoughts are with you and your family, of course. And I'd like to say a big thank you as well to Zara Sykes, another incredible talent and youth worker doing a lot in the community as well. I'd like to say a big thank you to Matt Windle as well, current Birmingham Poet Laureate in Birmingham, and his great work as well that he's doing in schools, being a great role model. And I think that's what we need more of, people who can model positivity and in every role throughout the community, whether you're a mother, a worker of some description, teacher, an older brother, younger sister, cousin, a grandparent. We're all existing in the same time, you know what I mean? And we only get so much of it, it's very limited in the grand scheme of things. We're all lucky to be born human beings. The odds, they say, are something like 400 trillion to 1. So to be born a human being in itself is almost impossible. I mean, you wasn't born an ant, you wasn't born an antelope, you wasn't born a zebra, a rhino, a butterfly, a bird, a woodlice. You was born a human being, man. So, we've all got to get some perspective and try and make the most of what we've got. And I think the people who have featured on today's show, I think have brought that across in their own ways. And please find out more about Love Music Hate Racism, because they're doing amazing things as well. We've got lots of people from all walks of life contributing their music but in any in the best way that they can express themselves in. So it doesn't matter what genre of music it is, if you come in with the right intent, one of unity and bringing together people through the love of music and joy and all the things that bind us all together, then get in touch, find out more, support the organisation as well, wear the badges, wear the t-shirts. We have an abundance of amazing artists wearing the t-shirts who are in the mainstream as well. So if you're fashion conscious, which I'm not really, to be fair, it's a good cause. That's enough. That's enough for me to be busting out the t-shirts. But if you're a little bit wary about that, we've got people like Stormzy wearing the t-shirts. We've got Rudimental, Coldplay, many incredible artists. But if you go to the lovemusichateраcism.com website, you'll find out more from there. Again, coming to the close now, so I think we're gonna just share one more track before I go, and I just want to thank you all for listening. And I'm gonna leave you with this final fun, high energy track, leave you on a high, featuring my cousin Sabina Seaton on the vocals, and produced by Terry Crow Lewis. This is Loving the Clubbing.
Lucid Solution. Bounce, bounce and huddle around. We're shaking the house and breaking it down. Progress your steps, forget regrets. I'm the man running the town. Bounce, bounce and huddle around. We're breaking it down. Yo, I'm the man running the town. Wow, we're loving it now. The loud and clear quality sound. Lost your way, but now you found the sound of light underground. Never mind the time it has to take. Hug the bass and embrace everything it's got to give. Fulfill your need, you need to live. We're loving the clubbing, the women are stunning, keeping it fun and we like it. Yes, we do. We're loving the clubbing, the women are stunning, keeping it fun and we like it. Oh, yes, we do. Come on.
Out on the dance floor, this is what I like.
This is what I like.
You're dancing with me, clubbing all night.
Close your eyes, draw a breath, feel the love and take a step. Ride the feeling, don't suppress, cause if you do then you won't connect. Could I deny how fly you are? Baby, you're shining like a star, making me move like never before. From the heart, I want some more tonight. Forget the crap in life, focus on the things we like. Fruit and love, sweets and beats, balanced out with sexy treats. It's more than you think. After all, I wear the ring, but love is more than that. Bling is nothing next to that. We're loving the club and the women are stunning, keeping it fun and we like it. Oh yes we do. We're loving the club and the women are stunning, keeping it fun and we like it. Oh yes we do. Come on, bounce.
On the dance floor, this is what I like.
Yeah, this is what I like.
You're dancing with me,
Swing,
clubbing
swing,
all
swing.
night.
Bounce, bounce and huddle around, shaking the house and breaking it down.
This is what I
Oh, I'm the man running the town. Bounce, bounce and huddle around, we're shaking the house and breaking it down.
clubbing all night.
Bounce, bounce and huddle around, shaking the house and breaking it down.
We're just dancing.
Oh, I'm the man running the town. Bounce, bounce and huddle around, we're shaking the house and breaking it down.
We're just dancing, so keep moving.
Don't say that, I didn't warn you. Don't say that, I didn't warn you. Don't say, baby, don't say that, I didn't warn you. When we dance, girl, it's no joke. I'm loving the way you